manifest in back pain? Because this is an epidemic that we're seeing with people with
Yes.
back pain, and
Yes.
especially like go-getters, high achievers, people in the blue collar workforce, and so forth. And then,
Yes.
can you explain just a little bit about the chakras? Because I'm not sure if maybe half of our audience would understand or
So
connect with the
chakra
word. I
is
know.
a very sorry. Chakra is a very deep topic. You can probably go read about it in case if you want. There are primarily 7 chakras that I take into consideration. There are even more. Some say it's 12, but then I take 7 into consideration, and I've associated each chakra with each color. Right? You have the root, which is at the base, then you have your sacral plexus, then you have your solar plexus, then you have your heart, then your throat, then your third eye, and then the crown, right? So for me, each one of them represent issues in the body, what the body is trying to say. So that's something that I've worked out. And when they pick the particular color associated with the chakra, it means that there is some kind of a blockage at that location. So that can be correlated with the emotion. Say, for example, if someone chooses green, right? So that's heart chakra for me. And that can be associated with frustration, grief, worry, or even anger. And issues that can manifest because of that will be something to deal with your liver, gallbladder, and your lungs, right? And even heart sometimes. So we try to take information. I mean, I start dwelling more information from the client based on these organs that can actually reveal even more. So when you look at a holistic perspective, it is not just about nutrition and diet. It's also about how that person well-being is in terms of emotion. And I find chakras to be a good tool for me to understand what it is trying to say. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of scientific proof for it. So, because it's something not really very recognized by the modern medicine, this is considered to be pseudoscience as well by some. But I find them to be really very helpful. And for people who have such kind of a knowledge, I find them to understand themselves a little better, and when they start working on them, they find a lot of profound changes in their emotion and also in their well-being as well in terms of whole health. And I think that's the most important thing for us, right? You need the end result there. Whatever is going to give you the end result, you can do that. And these processes are something that is not going to harm you. Probably you'll have some emotional surges, but that's a process of the shadow work too. So when you do a lot of shadow work, you tend to have a lot of emotional surges as well. Consider this to be a part of it. You will be able to understand yourself a little better. I have personally evolved so much only through these working through chakras and to understanding the deep, darker side of myself. Some few things that I've even thought that wasn't in me, they actually flared up. And when I started working on it, it was a long process, but I would say that I was able to tame it a little bit. And I understand my body much better, what it is trying to say, right? So if I'm not going to listen to it, it is going to force me to listen at some point of time. And I've had those experiences big time as well. So either I fall sick, I get a fever, so that I need to slow down and I need to rest myself. So if you don't listen to your body pushes yourself to a state where it will make you listen. And that first point, it can be a fever or an infection, and then you have some kind of pain that will manifest in your body. And that is a high sign from your body telling that you need to pay attention to this. Once you don't do it, but if you keep repeating the patterns, it is going to manifest as a big issue.
If you ignore the symptom by taking a painkiller or something like this, it will come back but drives deeper into the system, doesn't it?
Temporary solutions are not something that will help us. You can opt for them, but also it will be vigilant if you can watch out to what your body is trying to say, and work on those aspects as well, so that you will have a deeper healing through that process, not just band-aid stuff,
Mm.
but then you will be able to delve more deeper to understand what it is trying to say, and so that you can ensure that this issue doesn't repeat back in your life.
Mm, I think that's the important thing because we all live in the modern world and we have more responsibilities than ever. And
Yes.
then sometimes you can't afford to be sick, and we get that. But the problem is in our society is that we've band-aid every symptom, symptology, and then we've created this culture of band-aid approach, which drives it down further and further. We ignore our emotions. And it's the integrative approach, really, isn't it? Modern medicine is so incredible for acute disorders, but the chronic disorders that we're seeing, is our
Yes,
responsibility to participate. And I think it's
that's
so
true.
beautiful to include the chakras as well, because I've noticed that it's you don't realize what's happening on the subtle energetic, do you? And there can be a lot of critique that, it's not scientific, but just because we don't have the tools to measure the invisible doesn't mean it's not true. And there is a lot of science and data coming as well with what you're doing in practice. So we can really start to, with everybody utilizing this and testifying that, wow, I am getting better and my whole life is changing. That is enough anecdotal evidence, isn't it, to move the
Yes,
needle?
yes.